class 9. Today we will be discussing more of the revision from the previous chapters as well. So starting from the first one, that is motion. So in the motion chapter we studied about the graphs, and the two of the graphs were distance time graphs and velocity time graph. Okay? Most of the time students are having confusion on how to understand the graphs. So today we will be discussing that alone. So if this on the y-axis we are taking distance or displacement, and on the x-axis we are taking time, which indicates that as the time increases, what does the distance, how does the distance change or displacement happens for an object. And for velocity time graphs, we will be having velocity instead of distance. So how is velocity changing as the time changes? So as the time increases, how velocity changes, and with the help of that, the motion of the object can be described. So the first one is uniform motion. Okay? So if you remember the definition of simple uniform motion, it means that the object is covering equal distance in equal intervals of time. Okay, so the object is covering equal distance in equal intervals of time. That means for every interval of time, the distance covered is equal. Okay, so if the time is, let's say for example 1 second, and the distance covered by the object is 2 meters, if it is moving. Okay, then at every 1 second interval, the object is covering 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters for every 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So if I increase the time progressively, it means 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So at the interval of 1 second, the object's distance will be 2 meters, 4 meters, 6 meters, 8 meters, 10 meters, and so on. So you can get the idea. For every 1 second increase in time, the distance covered is 2 meters. That is just an example. So if you plot the graph of such a particular values, then you will get a straight line. In short, we can say that the uniform motion of an object is a straight line for a distance time graph. So if the object is in uniform motion, and if you plot the graph of distance versus time, then we will get a straight line. Okay? The other thing is, if the object is covering equal distance, that means it is having constant velocity. It is not changing. And we also know that the object moving in uniform motion has uniform speed or uniform velocity. That means as the time increases, the velocity of the object does not change. And for that, we can say that if we are plotting a velocity time graph, let's say that the object is moving with 5 meters per second or 2 meters per second, whatever it is, then as the time increases, the velocity is not changing. And hence, the velocity time graph of the object will be a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Remember, the second part is very important. This is just a straight line. This is a straight line parallel to x-axis. Okay? Which indicates that the velocity, whatever the velocity, x meters per second, we don't know, at x meters per second. It doesn't matter. Whatever the velocity, the object will remain in uniform motion because the velocity is not changing. As the time increases, whether it is 1 second, it is x meters per second. If it is 10 seconds, then also it is x meters per second. And so, as the time increases, the velocity remains constant. Hence, the uniform motion of the object is a straight line for a velocity time graph. So this is the first case, that is uniform motion. Next one, non-uniform motion. Well, if the object is not covering equal distance in equal intervals of time, then it is non-uniform motion. Then the graph of the object will change. The graph will be a little bit different. To simply put it in this way, the distance is still changing, but it is not equal. Okay? So the graph can be like this, random graph. It can be anything. which indicates that as the time increases, the distance covered is not same. Sometimes it is gradually increasing too much, sometimes it is increasing very less, sometimes again much more. So in this case, once again, the graph can be a little bit different. Let's say that the object's velocity is this, then it increases, then it decreases. It doesn't matter. Velocity can increase or decrease. The graph can go down as well. It doesn't matter. Okay? So in both the cases, the graph will be uneven for non-uniform motion. Okay? If the object is in non-uniform motion, then the graph will be uneven. So in short, I will write all the diagram over here. For uniform motion, it is a straight line like this. Okay? For this one, it is a straight line parallel to x-axis, so that it is easier for you to understand. Non-uniform motion, it is a random line like this, and over here as well it can be a random line. It doesn't matter. The next one is acceleration. So if the object is in acceleration, then once again the graph is going to be non-uniform. How? We will explain it on this case. If the object is in acceleration, that means it is covering more distance because the velocity is increasing, and therefore velocity is not constant. Velocity is always increasing, and so for acceleration the graph will be like this. Because it is covering more and more distance, it will be in the shape of a curve. Because it is not a straight line, it is not covering equal distance. Now you can see that in less time it is covering more distance because the velocity is increasing. Okay, before it over here it was the same distance covered, but in a straight line because the velocity was constant. But now the velocity is not constant. So the time taken is less and the distance covered is more. So velocity is increasing, and that is why it is a curve. Okay, so for acceleration we have a curve over here like this. But because this is a velocity time graph and acceleration is related to velocity, we have two options for velocity time graph. Either the acceleration is uniform or non-uniform. That means the velocity is increasing. But is it increasing uniformly or is it increasing randomly? So if the velocity is increasing uniformly, that means let's say for every 1 second, now the velocity is suppose 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So we are increasing the time in the interval of 1 second. But the velocity is 2 meters per second, then 3 meters per second, then 4 meters per second. So you can see the velocity is increasing. This motion is not uniform. Now we are talking about velocity. So velocity is increasing, but it is also increasing uniformly. So if I plot a velocity time graph of uniform acceleration, then it will be a straight line. Because velocity is increasing, this motion is still non-uniform motion, but we are talking about acceleration. So if it is acceleration, then it is uniform acceleration because velocity is increasing. So technically motion is not uniform, but acceleration is uniform. Okay, so this will be uniform acceleration because the velocity increasing is equal intervals of time. So if it is a uniform acceleration, then the graph will be like this. Okay, a straight line. Now it is very simple. If the velocity is increasing continuously, but the velocity is not uniform, that means sometimes it is less increasing, sometimes it is increasing more. Okay, so it can be a random graph like this, but it will never go down. It will never go in the opposite direction like this. No. Because the velocity is always increasing, so it can be random, but it is going to be random but not going downwards. So the non-uniform motion non-uniform acceleration has an uneven graph like this, always increasing, never going down. So now that we have cleared about uniform acceleration, we move forward to the last point, that is the object at rest. Okay, I made a mistake over here. Object at rest. See, if the object is at rest, that means the distance is not changing. Okay, so let's say that as the time increases, the person or an object is at a certain x meters of a distance. It is at a distance of x meters, whatever it may be, 2 meters or 100 meters, it doesn't matter. The object is at x meters, and as the time increases, the object is not moving, so it is still at rest. Okay, that means the distance will be a straight line, because as the time increases, the object is still at x meters of a distance. The object is neither going towards the higher values nor going to the lower values, which means whatever the distance the object has achieved, it is staying at that particular point, and hence the graph is a straight line parallel to x-axis if the object is at rest, like this. Okay, and if the object is at rest, then there is no velocity. The object is having zero velocity, and as the time increases, there is no increase or decrease in the velocity, and so the graph will remain blank. For velocity time graph, the graph will remain blank. There will be no line because there is no velocity. It is zero, and you cannot plot zero. It will be over here, 0 meters per second. So as the time increases, the velocity will remain zero, and hence the object will remain at rest, and the graph will be blank. So we discussed many things over here, starting from uniform motion to non-uniform motion, acceleration. If we come to velocity time graphs, we have two types of acceleration, but still the motion will remain non-uniform. Remember that. Acceleration may be uniform or non-uniform, but motion will remain non-uniform if the object is in acceleration. So remember that. Okay, we discussed all of the different points about the motion topic and the simple graphs that are always confusing to us. I hope this is clear to you this time. Okay. Okay students, so that was our first chapter. But if you move on to the second chapter regarding motion, we had 3 laws given by Newton. Okay, and we will discuss those 3 laws. The first law is called the law of inertia as well, because what is inertia? Inertia is actually the ability of the object to stay in rest or to stay in motion. So the object will remain in its position, whatever, whether it is at rest or whether it is in motion, it will remain in that particular state. Okay, unless any external force is applied. And that is why it is known as law of inertia, because the object has the ability to stay in its original state, whether it may be rest or whether it may be motion. Okay, so it will remain in that particular state, and that state and that ability is known as inertia. Okay, so the first law is object in rest or uniform motion will remain in rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. The object in rest or uniform motion will remain in rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. So unless any external force is acting on the object, it will not move or it will not change its state. But if it is moving, then it will not stop. It will continue to move. Okay? So this is the first law of motion. Second law of motion. It states that the momentum of the object can change. Okay? But how much is it changing? It depends on the amount of force applied. Okay? And in how much time that momentum is changing. So the momentum of the object may change. Okay? In a certain amount of time, which is dependent on the force applied. Okay? So I can write that the rate of change of momentum, rate of change of momentum of an object, rate of change of means in how much time the change of momentum is happening. Okay, the change is happening, but in how much time? So that is given by rate of change of momentum. So the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to applied unbalanced force. Okay, and so for this we had a small derivation as well. So we'll see that over here. So according to the statement, force is proportional to the change in momentum. So P final minus P initial upon time taken, rate at which the momentum is changing, and we had the whole derivation. Ultimately what we had was F is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole derivation, it has already been taught, you can check in my playlist, but this is just a reminder of how things work. Okay, and the last one, that is the third law of motion. The third law of motion. It was quite simple. The third law of motion states that action and reaction, the action force and reaction force, they both are equal and opposite. Okay, and it happens on two different objects. Okay, so let's say that we have an object and someone applies a action or force on it, then that object also applies the reaction force on the first object. Very simple. If two balls are going to collide with each other, then the first ball strikes the second ball, and the second ball also strikes the first ball, and that is why they both go in different directions, depending on the force that they are applying. So first one is action and the other one is reaction, and they both happen on different objects, not on the same object. They both happen on the different objects. So that is important. So for every action, there is equal and opposite reaction happening on two different objects. Okay. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. There is an equal and opposite reaction happening on two different objects. Okay? I hope this is clear to students. All the three laws of the motion given by Newton. That's all for today, students. We'll talk more about this in the next video. Till then, have a nice day.